and welcome to this programming procedure video for the Layers of Detail, Part 2, Activity by MyBot. The first thing you need to do is go to your MyBot interface, and you can refer to your MyBot Basics document for information on how to do so. From there, launch Blockly. When you're in your file, the first thing you want to do is save your file. So, click on the Save icon and then type in the new name you want. In this case, your name _ layers of detail 2 _ V01. That way if you make adjustments to the code, you can simply update that version number right at the end. Once you've done that, you're ready to get coding. Now for this particular activity, there are a lot of different ways that you can go about creating a program that will generate the information you need. The basic goal is to create a program that will tell your robot to go in a straight line until it runs into an obstacle, and while it's running, we want to get color readings from its color sensor. In order to tell when it's run into an object, I'm going to be using our touch sensor, but you can also have it stop when the optical distance sensor tells it it is too close to an obstacle, and there are a lot of different adjustments and variations you can make on this code. So follow me through with this one, but feel free to experiment and explore other ways to get this information as well. Let's get started. Since we want to create a code that will run continuously until something specific happens, we're going to start by going into the Loops menu. We're going to use the repeat while command. So click on that and bring it into your scene. You can at this point, click and drag until it is connected onto your Fusion start block. You always want to make sure your code locks into place as you add each additional piece of it. Since we want our code to repeat until the touch sensor is activated, meaning the robot has run into something, we're going to go into the Sensors tab to control that. From there, look for the touch sensor and open that window. There's only one option for this sensor, so click and drag on it and then bring it into your scene. But instead of adding it to the bottom of our code, we're going to add it to the end of the repeat while command. Now our code says repeat while the touch sensor on port D0 is pressed. There are a couple things we need to look at here. One, check to make sure your touch sensor is plugged into port D0, and if not, choose from the drop-down the correct port on your specific robot. Next, since we want this to repeat until the touch sensor is pressed, we need to change that to not pressed. Again, you can grab that from the drop-down menu and simply change it to repeating while it is not pressed, or another way of saying that is to repeat until the touch sensor is pressed. Now let's tell it what we want it to repeat. I want my robot to be driving, so I'm going to start with the motor's commands and grab a drive at speed option from here. When I bring that into the scene, I want to bring it inside my repeat command. Making sure it is nested there, I can then set up the speed or the power at which I want to drive my robot. Feel free to adjust this number until you're getting the values you'd like. The other thing I want it to repeat is to not just take a sensor reading on my color sensor, but also tell me what it's taking. And the way it can tell me information is by using the print commands. Those are available under text. So if I open the text menu, the very top option here is a print command. And when I bring that into my code, I can drop it right below my drive command. This will give me the option of either printing something specific, or it will give me the option of printing something based on a sensor, which is what we want in this case. So since we need information from a sensor, let's go back into that Sensors menu, and this time look for the color sensor. Now there are some different options under the color sensor, and this time I'm going to just use the get color number command. And when I bring that in, I'm going to attach that to the end of the print command. But we haven't told it how often we want it to tell us this. So the next thing we need to do is go into the time commands and add a wait command. So when you add a wait command, that will tell you how often you are asking your robot to give you information or do a certain task. In this case, I wanted to print the color number every 0.3 seconds, or 3/10 of a second, so I'm going to type that into the value field on my wait command. Again, I brought all of that in under the repeat while command so that everything is repeating that many seconds. At this point, I have the core of my code ready to go. But I'm also going to add one final detail, which is another text command, this time just telling me that my code has ended. In this case, I put it after my repeat command, so it will only happen after the touch sensor is pressed. And in this case, I just wanted to type out the word end, so that is what I replaced within the quotes here on my print command. So my code's now ready to test out. The print commands are going to show up in the debug console, so open that up and click play to see what it does. Great job figuring this out. Now feel free to play around with some different code adjustments or even different ways of creating this program. Great job! Have a fantastic day.